What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day as always. Today's video, we're going over why my Jeep Wrangler is illegal. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff on it turns out to be illegal after doing a little bit of research. Also in this video, the company Rock Monster USA sent us over one of these throttle controllers to give away to one of you guys. They also make these awesome custom hoods. Here's one of the hoods that they make. So they'll make you custom vents if that's what you'd like. These are CNC cutout vents, and these actually have our old logo on it, and the whole hood was paint matched to my Jeep, and they did an amazing job paint matching this. So stay tuned until the end to figure out how you can win the throttle controller. Alright guys, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. So the Grand Cherokee's still here, battery's on charge. I'll fix the transfer case once the new one comes in. And I was actually going to fix the transfer case on the Wrangler today, but it didn't arrive. So let's go ahead and hop right into some of the illegal mods that are on this 2008 Jeep Wrangler. So for starters, it's going to be how far out the tires stick. So unfortunately in Maryland, your tires have to be covered by fenders. And I'll give you guys a couple different angles so you can just see how far these stick out. I have not really been pulled over for these yet, surprisingly. I think it's one of those things where, like, if you get pulled over for speeding, you'll get a ticket on top of it, but they're not going to pull you over strictly for that. Also show you the back. They stick out a pretty decent amount. I mean, these are 1350s, and probably 3/4 of the tire stick out past the fender. This is also in part due to the fenders I chose being narrow width fenders, and also since I have aftermarket axles, these Curry axles are a little bit wider than the factory axles, so that bumped it out. Also the back spacing on the wheel. All these things combined just made the tire stick out a little bit too far to where they are an illegal modification. Next on the list is the wheels. So this is actually something I just learned when I was doing research, but beadlocks are illegal on the road. And the reason being is these bolts can loosen over time, and the beadlock ring, this part right here that pinches your tire in, can pop off, and it'll shoot off pretty violently, honestly. And yes, that would be bad, but in my opinion, the lug nuts are, since there's only 5 of them, I think it'd be more likely for those to loosen than the beadlock ring bolts. Also, most people who have tires and wheels like this, and then they also have a heavily modified Jeep, they go off-roading a lot, they know that they have to look at this and they have to torque down these bolts every so often. I torque mine down pretty frequently, actually, and just make sure that they're still tight. But that's just another illegal mod that's on this Jeep that I was not aware of until I did some research. Also, while we're on the topic of tires, apparently in Maryland you need mud flaps for how far out these tires stick and like the width of them and everything, which I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not putting mud flaps on my Jeep. I think that would look pretty bad, and it would also just kind of get in the way when you're off-roading and everything, rocks hitting it, it would probably rip it off. So mud flaps, tires sticking out, beadlocks, those are just a few of the illegal mods that are on this Jeep. And that's only going over the tires, wheels, and everything. So let's go ahead and move to the front of the Jeep. So let's get the tape measure out. I'm going to try to do this with one hand since I'm recording. Alright, so your frame cannot apparently be over 24 inches, I believe, is the measurement for Maryland for these kind of vehicles. And mine, you can see, is about 26.5, 27. It's a frame chop bumper, so the bottom of the bumper is the bottom of the frame, because essentially the bumper is now the cross member of the frame. So the bumper frame, the bottom of that is too high for a Maryland vehicle. And another thing that actually caught me by surprise before I mentioned it, that I have Amazon headlights, and these headlights are apparently too bright to be on the road. These headlights are actually marketed as if they are DOT approved, but since they're coming from China, apparently that's not 100% true. I found that out reading some of the reviews. Let me see if I can get it on camera here. You can kind of see it at the top. It's like etched in that says DOT approved. Turns out they aren't, which is kind of surprising to me, but at the same time, they're $70 headlights from Amazon. So that's another mod that is illegal, unfortunately, on my Jeep Wrangler. So for the next mod, we're actually going to have to go inside of the Jeep to take a look at this, so I can show you guys this one. So in the state of Maryland, and I'm sure probably most of the other 50 states, you actually need seatbelts, not harnesses. And you can run harnesses if they're DOT approved, but I could really only find one company that makes harnesses that are DOT approved, and mine are not that company. It also wouldn't be a huge deal if I still had the seatbelts, but I did kind of just cut those off. I'll show you guys here. They're pretty much just cut off because when I do the cage, I'm planning on chopping the B-pillar anyway, and that'll all be gone, so I didn't really see a need to keep them. But harnesses is another thing on the list that unless they're DOT approved, and you have to have them mounted correctly, even if they're DOT approved, if they're mounted incorrectly, still illegal. But that's just another thing on the list. And another mod that I've actually taken off my Jeep, I only had it on for like a day because it didn't turn out great, was window tint. So I plan on matching it to the back window tint, which is right on that line of illegal and illegal. But you can't have dark window tint in Maryland. You also can't tint your windshield at all, I don't think. I'm not planning on tinting my windshield just because off-roading, that would not really be the best idea, and that wouldn't really work out too well. But another thing that's crazy with the headlights is you're actually allowed to have aftermarket headlights and auxiliary lighting on your Jeep. So for example, I could have a light bar right across the top there, as long as it's not on. But then with lights that are on, you're allowed to have 4 auxiliary lights underneath of your headlights that are on at all times. Which honestly is kind of crazy that I can have 4 super bright light pods right there and have them on, but my headlights have to be a certain brightness and they can't be over that or they're illegal. Kind of seems like the two would cancel out if I had 4 really bright light pods and dim headlights, but that's just my opinion on that one. Another couple mods that are illegal, but things that I've done in the past but I no longer have on my Jeeps, is like color changing rock lights underneath the Jeep. I had them on the Grand Cherokee for quite a while actually. But I took them off. They were underneath each wheel, or underneath each fender. But on the Wrangler, I'm just going to put white rock lights because I think it looks a lot cleaner, and I'll only have them on when I'm off-roading. Another common mod is the exhaust. You're apparently not allowed to modify your exhaust really at all in the Jeeps or any vehicle at all. I do plan on modifying the exhaust later down the line just because it kind of sounds stupid. When you turn my Jeep on, it literally sounds the exact same as like this Grand Cherokee back here. And I mean, it's a lot more built, and I'd like it to sound a little more aggressive when I turn it on. Another surprising one for me was the air intakes, like a cold air intake. Not really sure why that one's illegal, to be honest with you, but a cold air intake was on the list of illegal modifications for your Jeep, and I haven't done one of those yet, but it's kind of in the plans when I do the exhaust. We'll see how that goes. Another super small thing that I forget about a lot is that in Maryland, you need a front license plate, which I haven't had one on this Jeep for quite a while, since I did the bumper out actually, but there's really nowhere to mount it on this Jeep just because on the front, I got rid of the stock mounting place obviously when I did the frame chop bumper, and there's really nowhere to attach this without drilling holes into the bumper. Even then it would be at such a weird angle, and like I could mount one right here, but it would just be at such a weird angle, such a weird spot to where when you're off-roading, it would definitely get messed up or ripped off. I mean, I'll show you guys the approach angle of this thing. I mean, basically, if I'm going to hit a rock, it's going to be right there where the license plate would be mounted. So hopefully I don't get pulled over for any of this stuff. A lot of it would be really hard to change at this point. Like I said, like the axles are too wide. I would need either super, super wide fenders, super narrow tires and wide fenders, or go back to stock axles. So, I mean, a lot of it would be very difficult to fix, but I also drive super responsible. I don't drive fast in this thing or anything like that. I drive the speed limit everywhere. So I don't think I'm very likely to be pulled over. I do think a lot of these things are just things that'll be added on if you do get a ticket already, like you're speeding or something like that. So let's go ahead and go over what you guys have been waiting for and hop into the giveaway. So like I said, guys, the awesome people over at Rock Monster USA sent us over one of these throttle controllers. I run one inside of my Wrangler. I've made a video on the throttle controller that I run previously about a year ago if you guys want to check that out. But all you have to do to enter to win this is you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and follow Rock Monster USA on Instagram. I'll link them down in the description for you guys and put their tag down there. You guys definitely are missing out if you're not running a throttle controller, and this is a great opportunity to get one for free. So all you have to do, like I said, is subscribe to my channel, like this video, and follow Rock Monster USA on Instagram. I will announce the winner of this giveaway in 3 days in another YouTube video, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that one. And thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.